A maritime prison built at a cost of hundreds of billions, yet it holds only a single cell. Guarded day and night by 100,000 wardens, and their sole purpose is just to keep an eye on me, a 20-year-old prisoner. Even with my limbs completely pierced by the dragon-binding chains, the new warden still doesn't feel the slightest bit of safety around me. All because 3 years ago, I slaughtered the gods of war from dozens of nations, wiping out every last top-tier fighter in the West. But during that great battle, I was hit with a rare aphrodisiac. Losing my mind, I defiled the Dragon Kingdom's only female god of war. It caused her to lose all her strength and become completely crippled. Despite being a ruthless killer, I was consumed by guilt. In the end, I willingly let the Dragon Kingdom elders capture me to atone for my sins. Since then, I've lived this dark, sunless life in prison. My only time allowed outside is when the Dragon Kingdom faces a monstrous criminal they simply can't defeat. And today marks my 6th time being let out, after the warden unhooked one of my chains. He led me outside. The Lin family, ranked 10th in our young city, said they want your help to deal with someone. They promised a massive reward once the job is done. Is this person strong? I don't know. The Lin family only said this person is insanely bold. Even a 5-star threat level doesn't cover it. I frowned, my interest slightly piqued. Soon, the warden brought me to the Lin estate. Right now, the entire Lin family was gathered together. But they didn't look like they were facing some terrifying enemy. Instead, they were all staring viciously at an iron cage. And trapped inside that cage was a completely battered woman. She was slumped on the ground, completely drained of strength. Seeing this, my brows furrowed. Where is the person the Lin family wants me to deal with? Then, a middle-aged man stepped out from the crowd. You must be the toughest guy from the dragon-binding prison, huh? She's right there in the cage. I want you to use the most brutal methods to tear her apart. Make her beg for death. Hearing this, my expression instantly turned ice cold. So, your so-called threat that exceeds 5 stars is just this woman? Because she didn't just dare to reject my son. She dared to kick him and completely cripple his manhood. That makes her much bolder than any 5-star criminal. I want her to suffer a living hell. Do a good job, and the Lin family will make it worth your while. Hell, with one word, I could even buy your freedom. Hearing this, I just raised an eyebrow. I could have walked out of that prison a long time ago. I just didn't want to. I slowly walked toward the iron cage, curious to see what kind of woman actually had the guts to cross the Lin family. But the moment I stepped next to the cage, a pair of bloody hands weakly grabbed my ankle. Please, please don't kill me. I was about to pull my foot away, but that voice sounded so incredibly familiar. I looked down at the woman, my brow sharply furrowing. Li Peiju? This was the woman I could never forget, even in death. 3 years ago, she was the legendary female god of war. But because I lost my mind, she was stripped of all her power. Just, what the hell happened over the last 3 years? To reduce a god of war to this state? Please, I'm begging you, don't kill me. Li Peiju actually dropped to her knees and started kowtowing to me. She was utterly broken. Seeing this, the head of the Lin family chuckled darkly. Li Peiju, did you really think you could run? Li Peiju shook her head frantically, kneeling right in front of Lin Cheng. I won't run anymore. Where is my daughter? Please, just let my baby go. She's only 2 years old. When you rejected my son and crippled him, why didn't you think about your daughter then? My son, Lin Fengliu, begged you just like this to spare him. But you still crushed his manhood. That man right there is the monster my Lin family pulled from the dragon-binding prison. He's the most ruthless, bloodthirsty killer in this world, and he is here specifically for you. Though, maybe he's here for Little Grass, too. No, if you dare lay a finger on Little Grass, the Li family will never let you get away with this. If this were the past, even if my Lin family had 10 times the courage, we'd never dare touch you, Li Peiju. But ever since you were disgraced, the Zhang family has beaten your family down to nothing. Why would they still care about a disgrace like you? Besides, if your family actually cared about you, they wouldn't have let you suffer through your 10 months of pregnancy. Surviving entirely by scavenging through the trash, Li Peiju raised her head in absolute despair. Tears blurred her vision. A moment later, she suddenly screamed out, "You can't touch Xiaoxiao. If you dare lay a finger on her, her father will never let you go." Hearing this, the Lin family members hesitated with a hint of fear. Anyone who could reduce a war god to this state must be an absolutely ruthless monster. Li Peiju nodded frantically. Yes, it's him. He is a cold-blooded demon who kills without blinking. He might not care if you touch me, but if he finds out you laid a hand on his daughter, he will slaughter every single one of you. A flicker of dread flashed through Lin Cheng's eyes, but he quickly composed himself. He hasn't shown up in 3 years. He's probably been dead for a long time, and even if he dares to show his face, the Zhang family of Demon City will naturally take care of him. Lin Cheng's words completely shattered Li Peijia's last shred of hope. You demon, 3 years ago, you ruined me. Where are you now? Please, I'm begging you, come out and save Xiaoxiao. She's 2 years old now. She knows how to call for her mom, and she knows how to call for her dad. She keeps asking me where her daddy went. And at that moment, a chill ran down my spine. I stood completely frozen in place. I, Chen Wudi, actually have a daughter? I am a demon king known to countless people as the Black Dragon of Hell. Does someone like me even deserve to have a wife and child? But right now, Li Peijia's words completely shattered the ice around my heart. My entire body began to tremble. I pulled Li Peiju forcefully into my arms. I'm back. I, Chen Wudi, have returned. Li Peijia's delicate body trembled. The familiar voice and scent made her realize exactly who I was. She should have hated me to her core, but the cruel reality of the past few years had stripped away all her hatred. Please, save Xiaoxiao. Don't worry, I'm here now. No one in this world can ever hurt Xiaoxiao. Seeing that Li Peiju and I actually knew each other, the head of the Lin family saw his face darken. What is going on here? But I suddenly snapped my head up and let out a furious roar. The dragon-binding chains restraining my body instantly shattered to pieces. The Lin family dared to humiliate my wife and child. Today, I am going to unleash an absolute massacre. I will turn this entire Lin family into a living hell. Every single person in the Lin household was left shivering, utterly crushed by my overwhelming murderous aura. Lin Cheng stared at me in sheer, wide-eyed terror. You wouldn't dare? I, Chen Wudi, have dominated the Western world for 20 years. Countless souls have perished by my hands. Your pathetic little Lin family. I could crush it to dust with a single stomp. Suppressing the deep terror in his heart, Lin Cheng looked up and glared at me. My Lin family isn't something you can just crush with words. If you drop to your knees and beg for mercy, I might just spare your life. Otherwise, your little family of 3 is going to die right here. Hearing Lin Cheng's pathetic threat, I suddenly burst into laughter. Then, I turned to glance at the warden standing off to the side, whose face had already turned deathly pale. He says I can't crush his precious Lin family. Tell me, do you think I can? The warden's mind buzzed violently, and he nearly fainted on the spot. Forget about a measly Lin family in Yang City. Even the absolute top-tier elites of Demon City wouldn't even be enough to satisfy this former Demon King's bloodlust. Patriarch Lin, did you actually kidnap his daughter? Hurry up and release her right now. Otherwise, you've brought down an unimaginable disaster. Lin Cheng's eyes were bloodshot. He couldn't hear a word of the warden's pleading. The moment he embraced that woman, he was already a dead man. Hear my command, summon the Lin family's Grand Blood Guard, all 90 Blood Guard commanders, and our 3,000 Blood Guards. Today, I want to see how he plans to crush my Lin family. Let alone 3,000 Blood Guards. Even if there were 30,000, I, Chen Wudi, would slaughter them like dogs. Lin Cheng's eyes burned crimson with rage, his fists cracking as he clenched them tight. Just then, a voice exploded like thunder. I am the Blood Guard commander. 7 kills, reporting. Who dares to cause trouble for the Lin family? Then, a man radiating a terrifying murderous aura strode forward. Behind him followed 1,000 Blood Guard generals with chilling presences. Suddenly, the ground shook violently. A terrifying roar echoed through the air. I am the Blood Guard commander. Broken Army, reporting. Who dares to cause trouble? The Blood Guard commander, Greedy Wolf, has arrived. Who dares to cause trouble? The arrival of the 3,000 Blood Guards made Lin Cheng's arrogance skyrocket. Chen Wudi, all 3,000 of my Blood Guards are here. How do you want to die? Li Peijia's delicate body trembled. Her blood ran cold. To think, our family of 3 is going to die here together. No, we are not going to die. I survived 3 years ago. And from that moment on, no one in this world can ever kill me. After saying that, I took a step toward Lin Cheng. My aura surged like a storm. 3,000 is far from enough. Call in every single connection and force you have. Today, I'm going to show you what rivers of blood truly look like. Fine, since that's your dying wish, I'll gladly grant it. With that, he started making calls. Soon, a convoy of cars came roaring in. Hundreds of men in black marched out in unison. The Zhao family is here to lend the Lin family a hand. The Ma family is here too. Whoever touches the Lin family messes with the Ma family. One after another, the terrifying big shots of Yang City arrived. Lin Cheng's arrogance erupted. He roared at me. 5,000 men are more than enough to grind you into mincemeat. Now, we're just waiting for your daughter. Then your family of 3 can finally be reunited in hell. Now, we're just waiting for your daughter. Then your family of 3 can finally be reunited in hell. Clang, clang, clang. Suddenly, a harsh metallic sound rang out. A few of the Lin family's thugs were dragging an iron cage toward the crowd. Everyone looked over. only to see a filthy little girl locked inside. She was thrashing around in the cage, crying out in terror. Ah! Suddenly, Li Peiju, who was in Chen Wudi's arms, pointed at the iron cage. She sobbed uncontrollably. Hold on to Xiao Cao for a minute. Watch how I crush the Lin family to dust. Li Peiju just stared blankly at Chen Wudi. In her arms, little Xiao Cao asked timidly, Mommy, what is Daddy going to do? Li Peiju didn't say a word, gently shielding the girl's eyes. Chen Wudi slowly stood up, like a fierce lion waking from its slumber. Told you I would crush the Lin family. Today, even if every war god and elder of Yanxia came here, none of them could save you. A monstrous, overwhelming killing intent erupted from Chen Wudi. It was the middle of the day, yet the moment Chen Wudi spoke those words. What about Daddy? Xiao Cao squirmed uneasily. This was her first time meeting her daddy, and she didn't want anything bad to happen to him. A soft look flashed in Chen Wudi's eyes as he gently said, Don't worry, Daddy is going to be just fine. Wait for Daddy to take care of all these bad guys who bullied you. And then we'll go home. Go home. Daddy, let's go home. Mommy's baked potatoes are so yummy. On a bloody battlefield, the father and daughter were actually chatting like nobody else was around, discussing going home for dinner. It was absolutely unbelievable. Bastards. Hearing the father and daughter's conversation, Lin Cheng also snapped out of his shock. Waking up feeling both shocked and furious. If he let them go back safely to reunite, then how could he avenge his son, Lin Fengliu, who was crippled and ruined for life? And how would those elite families in Yang City mock the Lin family? No way. Absolutely not. Lin Cheng's eyes were bloodshot, and he ground his teeth so hard they cracked. Thinking of this, Lin Cheng turned his gaze to the Lin family's 3 great bloodshed commanders and roared. You 3 bloodshed commanders, kill him. Yes, master. As soon as the words fell, the Lin family's 3 bloodshed commanders lunged at Chen Wudi. Every single bloodshed commander radiated a terrifying aura. However, Chen Wudi's gentle gaze remained fixed on his daughter, Xiao Cao. He didn't even spare a single glance at the Lin family's 3 bloodshed commanders. With a casual flick of his wrist, he delivered 3 backhand slaps. The Lin family's 3 bloodshed commanders were actually blown to pieces right in midair. A horrific rain of blood mixed with organs splattered onto the ground. The entire battlefield fell into an eerie, dead silence. Such a violently brutal scene deeply shocked everyone present. Those were the infamous bloodshed commanders of Yang City's Lin family. Each one of them was a formidable powerhouse in their own right. Yet now, they were so easily obliterated by someone. This massive contrast left everyone unable to even process what had happened. And at this moment, the person with the most complicated feelings was Li Peiju. Watching Chen Wudi carefully protect their daughter, Xiao Cao, and seeing him explode with rage for her sake, the resentment she had built up over the past 3 years somehow melted away just a little. If it stayed like this, maybe their family of 3 could. Zhao family, Ma family, why aren't you making a move yet? All 3 bloodshed commanders were destroyed. The Lin family has suffered a devastating loss. Lin Cheng's face was as ugly as it could get, and he furiously roared at the Zhao, Ma, and the rest of the 5 great families of Yang City. The Zhao family and the others turned their gazes toward Chen Wudi, their eyes filled with intense anger. Bullying our Yang City families like this, do you really think we have no one left to fight you? Our 6 great families of Yang City have always stood united. You daring to do this means you have made enemies of us all. Don't worry, Master Lin, we will make our move. However, just as the 5 great families of Yang City consecutively declared their stances and geared up for battle, Chen Wudi covered his daughter Xiao Cao's ears and half turned around. With a contemptuous smirk, he fiercely stomped his foot on the ground. Boom! A massive explosion echoed out. The earth rolled and roared as the ground ahead violently collapsed inward, as if it had just suffered a magnitude 10 earthquake. In an instant, the great families of Yang City were thrown off balance, falling to the ground one after another. And the ground now? It was shockingly covered in massive cracks, each fissure so deep you could not see the bottom. It looked as if they led straight down into the depths of hell. Seeing this scene, the Yang City families who had just pledged their support suddenly looked like ducks grabbed by the throat. Their arrogant voices came to a screeching halt. Ah, sorry, I forgot, I still have an important meeting to attend. The head of the Zhao family scrambled up in a panic, briskly fleeing in the opposite direction of Chen Wudi. Me too, I have a meeting too. The head of the Ma family was deathly pale. He also quickly chased after the head of the Zhao family. The heads of the other 3 Yong city families found similar excuses and fled the scene like absolute madmen, as if evil spirits were chasing them for their lives. Chen Wudi's display had utterly terrified them to their very core. Is he even human? Seeing this unfold, Lin Cheng's face turned completely green with rage. He cursed out loud, "You bunch of cowards." But before he could even finish his sentence, he hurriedly rushed forward to flatteringly greet someone. "Grandmaster Wei Yun, you have arrived." However, Wei Yun didn't even spare Lin Cheng a glance, shoving him aside. His gaze swept over Chen Wudi, who was wearing a prison uniform. His face was filled with a deep sneer and heavy mockery. A mere prisoner actually dares to be this arrogant. Listen up, I am giving you 2 choices. Number 1. Obediently get on your knees, apologize, admit your guilt, and surrender. Number 2. Grandmaster Wei Yun swept a contemptuous gaze over Chen Wudi and Li Peiju, scoffing disdainfully. Just die. It was an absolute, overwhelming annihilation. Thinking of this, Li Peiju quickly turned her head to look at Chen Wudi. Staring at his resolute face, her mind went completely blank for a moment. The man who violated her all those years ago was actually this terrifyingly strong. But at this moment, Chen Wudi didn't care about the horrified gasps of the onlookers at all. Instead, his icy gaze was locked on Lin Cheng, radiating a monstrous, overwhelming killing intent. Today, I am going to utterly crush the Lin family. Even if every single grandmaster in the entire country shows up, even if the god of war himself comes, you are dead meat. Thud, Lin Cheng dropped to his knees in pure terror, his face as pale as a corpse. An ancient, commanding voice suddenly echoed in Chen Wudi's ears. "Black Dragon, stand down. You've been granted a special pardon. You never have to return to the trapped dragon prison. Furthermore, I want you to become the guardian god of war for our nation." The warden standing nearby nearly had a heart attack when he heard that. The hellish Black Dragon was actually going to become the nation's guardian god of war? Even though his power was absolutely terrifying, the warden suddenly realized something. There's a literal garbage dump right next to it. How could you two be living in a place like this? Chen Wudi's lips trembled as he asked Li Peiju in pure agony. Li Peiju stared sorrowfully at the collapsed space under the bridge. Gently stroking Little Grass's head, she murmured, 3 years ago, I found out I was pregnant with your child. My fiancé's family, the wealthy Zhang family, was absolutely furious. Under their relentless pressure, I was thrown right out of the Li family. I lost my grandmaster powers. Originally, I just wanted to find a normal job so I could feed my Little Grass. But every single time I went to a company, I was chased out. I tried to rent an apartment, but it wouldn't be long before we were thrown out onto the streets again. Kind-hearted landlords secretly told me it was the Zhang family pulling the strings. No one dared to rent a place to us. Finding a decent job was completely impossible. I had no other choice. I could only bring Little Grass to hide out under a bridge like this. Surviving by picking through the trash, Chen Wudi followed Li Peijia's gaze, looking toward the area around the bridge. It was splattered with pungent, blood-red paint. Smeared across the walls were words like slut, along with a whole mess of vile, degrading insults. Li Peijia's frail body swayed as if she might collapse. She sobbed bitterly, even here under the bridge. Every once in a while, people would come and force us out. They would smash all the food and the little things I had managed to scavenge. Ah, Chen Wudi let out a gut-wrenching roar of absolute agony. A terrifying aura erupted from his body. His eyes turned blood red, fueled by a maddening urge to destroy everything in sight. He was the hellish Black Dragon. He possessed supreme power and unimaginable wealth, yet his woman and his daughter were forced to live in a miserable place meant for stray dogs. Right at that tense moment, his little daughter, Little Grass, wiggled out of Chen Wudi's arms. She then crawled right into the pitch-black ruins under the collapsed bridge. She pulled out a freezing cold, raw potato and shoved it into Chen Wudi's massive hands. Daddy, eat this. It's super yummy. It's my absolute favorite. Looking down at his daughter's purely innocent, beaming smile. Feeling her freezing little hands clumsily trying to comfort him, Chen Wudi completely froze. Little Grass, is this what you guys normally eat? Little Grass nodded happily. Saying that, the little girl took a big bite out of the freezing cold, raw potato. Then, she cheerfully started singing her little song, no fragrant flowers, no tall trees. I am just a little blade of grass that nobody sees. Never lonely, never sad. Her tender, childish voice echoed softly through the cold air. Two trails of bloody tears rolled down Chen Wudi's rugged cheeks. "Daddy, Daddy, why are you crying?" Little Grass started crying too. She didn't want to lose her daddy ever again. "It's okay, baby, I'm okay." Chen Wudi wiped away his tears. His gaze hardened with absolute resolve as he looked at Little Grass and Li Peiju. "From this day forward, no one will ever dare to lay a finger on you again. You are going to live like absolute royalty. I, Chen Wudi, swear this on my life." His words were ironclad, echoing with undeniable power. "Daddy, what's a palace?" "You'll see when Daddy takes you there, sweetheart. Wow, it must be a super big bridge to live under." Watching Chen Wudi and their little daughter playing together so happily, Li Peijia's eyes finally softened. It was as if she had let go of the very last breath keeping her going. Suddenly, her body gave out. With a sickening sound, a mouthful of dark crimson blood violently sprayed from her lips. Chen Wudi's face turned completely pale. He lunged forward, desperately catching Li Peiju as she collapsed. Checking her pulse, horror washed over him. Her life force was completely drained, fading out like a lamp that had entirely burned through its oil. "Mommy," Little Grass screamed hysterically, rushing over and desperately hugging Li Peijia's legs while sobbing. Li Peiju struggled to raise her hand, gently stroking Xiao Cao's head. Her beautiful face was as pale as a ghost. There wasn't a single drop of color left in her cheeks. Then, she turned her complex, tired gaze toward Chen Wudi. "For 3 years, I dreamed of killing you countless times, because you destroyed my entire life. But now, I don't hate you anymore. I just don't have the strength to hate you. After I'm gone, you have to take good care of Xiao Cao." Before she could even finish her sentence, the hand resting on Xiao Cao's head fell limp. Li Peiju slowly closed her eyes. "No," Chen Wudi threw his head back toward the sky. He let out a desperate, agonizing roar as tears of blood streamed down his face. "Am I, Chen Wudi, doomed to be alone for my entire life? Abandoned by my parents as a child, I don't even know what they look like. I grew up fighting wild dogs and stray cats for scraps in the garbage. I've been beaten black and blue more times than I can count. Then I met that man. He told me that if I followed him, I'd never go hungry again. That's when I joined the organization and became a hitman, carving out a legendary name for myself in the underworld. I became the hellish Black Dragon, the absolute terror of the Western world." Chen Wudi roared furiously into the heavens. He thought he was destined to suffer alone forever. But he finally had a wife and a child. Only to watch them be taken away right in front of his eyes. "No, no way, you are not going to die. I met the Phantom Doctor, Mo Tiansheng, in the Dragon Prison. I learned his medicine. I can save you, I can save you. Please don't give up, I'm going to save you." Chen Wudi whispered desperately into the unconscious Li Peijia's ear, begging her to hold on to her will to live. He threw Li Peiju onto his back, scooped up Xiao Cao in his arms, and sprinted like a madman toward the nearest clinics and hospitals. "I'm sorry, sir, our pharmacy is closed today. Her injuries are too severe, our clinic can't treat this. You need to go to a major hospital." He ran to several clinics and pharmacies, only to be rejected over and over again. Chen Wudi's face turned terrifyingly dark. Yong City 3rd People's Hospital. "I'm sorry, sir, you don't have any ID, so we can't register you. We cannot provide treatment." The receptionist glanced at the unconscious Li Peiju and rejected them without a second thought. "Her life is on the line. Please, make an exception. I'll pay you back with more money than you can possibly imagine." Chen Wudi screamed in absolute panic. If the kings of the Western underworld heard a promise like that from Chen Wudi, they would have gone insane with excitement. But the receptionist just sneered at Chen Wudi's ragged prison uniform. She shot a disgusted look at the filthy Li Peiju and Xiao Cao, and said coldly, "I'm sorry, those are the rules." Out of the corner of her eye, the receptionist glanced at her computer monitor. Right there on the screen was a glaring photo of Li Peiju. Seeing that Chen Wudi wasn't going to back down, the receptionist yelled, "Security! Security, get them out of here. Stop disturbing the other patients." Watching the 2 security guards march over, ready to drag him and Li Peiju out, Chen Wudi completely lost his mind. He unleashed a brutal punch, shattering the glass window and the iron bars, and ripped the receptionist's monitor around to face him. There it was, a picture of Li Peiju. In a split second, Chen Wudi understood exactly what was going on. Even if he tore through every single hospital in Yong City today, not a single one of them would take them in. Because the powerful Zhang family from Shanghai had already issued a strict blacklisting warning to all these hospitals and clinics. Nobody dared to cross a top-tier elite family like the Zhongs. Chen Wudi shot a deadly, cold glare at the terrified receptionist. He roared, "If you don't treat her right now, every single one of you is going to die today." In an instant, a terrifying, suffocating aura of pure murder exploded from Chen Wudi's body. Everyone around them froze stiff, their skin crawling with sheer terror. It felt as if a monstrous, bloodthirsty beast from the deep jungle had just locked its eyes on them, ready to rip them to shreds at any second, faced with Chen Wudi's blood-red eyes and overwhelming murderous intent. And looking at the mangled steel bars of the window, the medical staff instantly panicked. They scrambled to rush Li Peiju straight into the operating room. "Get her on an IV. Hurry. The patient's injuries are critical. She's lost too much blood, she needs a transfusion. Get type O blood, now. Move it." Seeing this, Chen Wudi finally let out a massive sigh of relief. He held Xiao Cao tightly against his chest. Daddy, is mommy going to be okay?" Xiao Cao bit her trembling lip, tears welling up in her big, bright eyes. But she was sensible enough not to cry or scream. "No, Daddy promises." Chen Wudi hugged his daughter Xiao Cao tightly, comforting her softly as he choked back his emotions. Right at that moment, an old doctor nearby looked at the father and daughter, letting out a helpless sigh. The patient's injuries are far too severe, and she's suffering from multiple chronic conditions. "I'm afraid it will be very hard to save her. You need to prepare yourselves mentally." Hearing this, Xiao Cao's little mouth quivered, and 2 streams of clear tears flowed down her cheeks. Chen Wudi, however, stared coldly at the old doctor and said in a deep, firm voice, "I will cure her. No matter what." Then, Chen Wudi gently set Xiao Cao on the ground and said, "Xiao Cao, you stay right here with mommy. I'm going to find some herbs. Daddy will definitely make mommy better. Pinky promise, Daddy." "Alright, pinky promise." Chen Wudi smiled and linked pinkies with Xiao Cao. He then cast a final glance at Li Peiju, who lay deathly pale on the hospital bed, before turning away quickly, his face incredibly heavy. "Wait for me." A moment later. "Xiao Cao, Daddy found the herbs. Mommy is saved." Chen Wudi burst excitedly into the hospital room, carrying several packets of herbs. But there was absolutely no sign of Li Peiju or his daughter Xiao Cao. The room was a complete wreck. Chen Wudi's smile froze instantly. A monstrous, murderous intent burst from his eyes as he glared toward a corner. He roared coldly, "Speak. Where are my wife and daughter?" A trembling figure crawled out from the corner. It was the very same old doctor from before. But right now, the old doctor's face was twisted in absolute terror as he stammered to Chen Wudi. "Just now, a bunch of vicious thugs stormed in. They beat everyone in sight and snatched your wife and daughter away. They even left a note telling you where to find them." Trembling uncontrollably, the old doctor handed it over to Chen Wudi. "If you want your wife and kid to live, be at the abandoned thermal plant in the North District of Yang City at 4:30 p.m. You know the price of being late." Chen Wudi narrowed his eyes and glanced at the wall clock. 4:05 p.m. 25 minutes left. He violently crushed the little note in his fist, spun around, and sprinted outside. His face was utterly consumed by a thick aura of madness and brutality, looking just like an enraged lion out for blood. At the abandoned thermal plant in the North District of Yang City, a woman lay on the freezing ground, her face deathly pale. Looking just like a corpse, an oxygen mask still covered her mouth, and an IV needle remained stuck in her wrist. Connecting her to a drip, it was Li Peiju. Beside her, Xiao Cao watched her mother with deeply worried eyes, biting her lip hard to stop herself from crying out and disturbing her. Every so often, she would peek at the figures nearby, her tiny body trembling uncontrollably. Standing there were 18 figures. These 18 men wore masks and black tactical gear, moving with perfect uniformity. Every single one of them was a towering wall of muscle with bulging temples, radiating an overwhelming, tyrannical aura. Every single one of them was stronger than the most powerful bloodkill commander of Yang City's prestigious Lin family. By 10 times, or even dozens of times, the leader of the men in black was so overwhelmingly powerful it was downright terrifying. If placed in any major elite family, these men would be treated as their ultimate hidden trump card, only deployed when the family's survival was at stake. And yet, there were 18 of them right here. If they all hailed from a single noble house, the terrifying might of that house would be simply unimaginable. Beep beep. Just then, the leading man in black whipped out a phone from his waist and answered a video call. He greeted respectfully, "Young master. We have already captured the bitch and her daughter. We've also notified that bastard to come here and walk right into our trap at 4:30 p.m. Good, you did very well, through the video screen. Staring down at Li Peiju and Xiao Cao with a vicious, cold-blooded glare, was the heir of the Zhang family from the Magic City, Li Peijia's former fiancé, Zhang Tianfang. A thick, cruel sneer spread across his face. You bitch, you want a family reunion? Keep dreaming, go reunite in hell. Zhang Long, wake her up, yes, young master. Zhang Long replied respectfully. Then, his eyes locked coldly onto the pale-faced Li Peiju. Smack, a vicious slap echoed through the air. A blood-red handprint instantly flared up on Li Peijia's pale face, and she let out an agonized groan. Li Peiju slowly drifted back to consciousness. Mommy. Seeing this, Little Grass couldn't hold back her tears anymore and threw herself onto Li Peijia's body. Li Peiju looked at Little Grass, then at the menacing men in black surrounding them, and finally at Zhang Tianfang on the video call. Her heart sank to the pit of her stomach. Ha ha ha, you bitch, today we finally end everything. Zhang Tianfang glared at Li Peijia's beautiful face. The intense love he once felt for her had twisted into an equally deep, venomous hatred. He was the heir to the mighty Zhang family, a top-tier household in Modu, yet his own fiancée had actually dared to cheat on him. She made him the ultimate laughingstock among Modu's elite circles. How could he not despise her? Pale and trembling, Li Peiju pleaded weakly, Zhang Tianfang. Little Grass is innocent, she's only 2 years old. Please, let her go. Just let her go, okay? No matter how you want to torture me, I'll take it willingly. Let her go? Hey, it's not just you, your bastard daughter, and that wild man of yours. All of you are going to die today. I'm sending your little family of 3 to reunite in hell. You should be thanking me. Zhang Tianfang laughed hysterically before mocking her. Li Peiju, why don't you take a good look at who's standing around you? Li Peiju struggled to look around. Instantly, her pupils shrank, her eyes flooding with sheer terror and despair. Zhang family's 18 black guards. You actually deployed them? As Zhang Tianfang's former fiancé, Li Peiju knew perfectly well the bloody reputation of the 18 black guards. Every single one was an elite killer, barely a step below a grandmaster. The 18 of them working together had slaughtered grandmasters before. Worse, they were sadists who absolutely loved to torture their victims to death. There was once a rival family in Modu that opposed the Zhangs. The 18 black guards raided their estate in the dead of night, slaughtering everyone in sight. They left no survivors. Even babies, just a few months old, were dashed to the ground and brutally murdered. Remembering this, Li Peijia's eyes filled with absolute, bottomless despair. She wasn't afraid of dying. But if her daughter, Little Grass, fell into the hands of these monsters, she would suffer a fate worse than death. Seeing Li Peijia's deathly pale face, Zhang Tianfang felt a sick thrill of satisfaction. He then turned to the leader of the Black Guards and ordered, Zhang Long, I don't give a damn what you do to those 2 bitches. But in 3 days, make sure their severed heads arrive on time for my father's birthday banquet. Because that is the gift I'm presenting to him. Don't worry, young master. The gift will arrive exactly on time in 3 days. Zhang Long's eyes gleamed with a savage, bloodthirsty glint. Zhang Tianfang nodded in deep satisfaction and hung up the video call. Just then, one of the black guards walked up to Zhang Long and reported in a grim voice, Boss, this bitch's breathing is incredibly weak. Her life force is basically completely drained. She should have died half an hour ago, but she's actually still clinging to life. HMPH, looks like she's holding out for that wild man of hers. Zhang Long sneered coldly as he glanced down at Little Grass. Meanwhile, Li Peiju stared mournfully at her little daughter and let out a weak, helpless sigh. Little Grass, that man. 30 meters, 20 meters. Closer. He was getting closer. The notoriously ruthless black guards of the Zhang family were actually completely paralyzed by Chen Wudi's terrifying aura and murderous intent. No. Seeing Chen Wudi about to step within a 5-meter radius of them, Zhang Long fiercely bit down on his own lip. The intense taste of iron and blood snapped him back to his senses. The young master gave an order. In 3 days. It is Patriarch Zhang Hengbao's 60th birthday. We must deliver the severed heads of these 3 as a congratulatory gift. Black guards, kill them. Zhang Long roared explosively. His face twisted into a mask of hysterical, vicious savagery. The 18 black guards exchanged a single glance, and their eyes flooded with pure, absolute madness. The Zhang family of Modu ruled with an iron fist of brutal discipline. If they failed to execute the young master's commands, they would be dead meat. and their families would be massacred alongside them. Thud. Right at that moment, Chen Wuti reached within 3 meters of them and took one earth-shattering step forward. He glared at the Zhang family's black guards with eyes as cold as absolute zero. 18 little ants. Step up and accept your death. Boom, that single, arrogant sentence completely pushed Zhang Long and the 18 black guards into a state of explosive, violent rage. Their eyes instantly went blood red. Those 18 men are absolute powerhouses, just one step away from becoming martial arts grandmasters. What does it mean to be a grandmaster? It means one man alone can dominate an entire sect. They are godlike beings with the potential to be crowned as gods of war. And these 18 men are just a single step away. You could easily call them quasi-grandmasters. If all of them break through and seize the right opportunity, they could become 18 gods of war. Although these 18 men haven't reached that level yet, rumor has it their combined strikes are absolutely lethal. More than one grandmaster has died at their hands. I even heard the 18 of them once took down a god of war. And yet, this punk actually has the nerve to call them ants. You're dead meat, draw your blades. Zhang Long roared, as all 18 black guards drew their long blades in unison. Their speed was like lightning. In the blink of an eye, Chen Wuti was completely surrounded by their shadows. A terrifying storm of flashing steel rained down on him with absolute frenzy. The 18 men wove their strikes into an impenetrable net of blades. Right from the start, it was a killing blow. The very air seemed to be sliced apart by the 18 flashing blades, letting out a heavy, piercing shriek. That overwhelming, terrifying killing intent swept over everything. Seeing this, Li Peijia's face turned deathly pale. Her eyes were filled with deep despair and sorrow. Even at her absolute peak, wielding the power of a god of war, she wouldn't stand a chance against such an airtight net of blades. And no matter how powerful Chen Wuti was, there was no way he could survive the full-force combined strike of all 18 black guards. In that moment, Li Peiju was completely paralyzed with fear. Sure, Chen Wuti might have defeated Grandmaster Wei Yun, and he could easily take down any single black guard. But there were 18 of them. Their combined power was magnified by more than 10 times. Yet, just as Li Peiju was consumed by panic, Chen Wuti didn't show a single trace of fear or panic. Instead, a cold smirk of absolute disdain crept across his face. Instead of dodging, he charged straight into the horrifying, impenetrable net of blades. He simply threw out a vicious, brutal slap. It's over. Seeing this, Li Peijia's heart plummeted. She squeezed her eyes shut in utter despair. Oh God. She never imagined that Chen Wuti would use his bare flesh and blood to clash against 18 tempered steel blades. It was like throwing an egg against a rock. There was absolutely zero chance of winning. Their little daughter, Xiao Sao, was so terrified she buried her face in her mother's chest. Ha ha ha, you arrogant fool, go to hell. Watching him charge, Zhang Long and the 18 black guards were absolutely ecstatic. If Chen Wuti had dodged, he might have had a sliver of hope to survive. But they never expected him to be so blindly arrogant and stupid as to take their 18-blade formation head-on. Even a god of war would be ripped to shreds. Die. Boom, the 18 long blades violently slammed into Chen Wuti's bare flesh. A deafening, explosive sonic boom instantly ripped through the air. Scarlet blood instantly painted the ground. And now, it's your turn. Glaring at the remaining 17 black guards of the Zhang family, who were now shivering in pure terror, Chen Wuti swung his long blade. Anyone who dared to lay a finger on his wife and daughter would face one single fate: death. The agonizing screams abruptly stopped. After wiping them all out, Chen Wuti rushed over to Li Peiju. He checked her wounds, his face turning incredibly grim. Hold on, I'll stop the bleeding and keep you breathing. Please, you can't give up. I've already found the herbs. Once we get to a safe place. Meanwhile, far away, Ghost Zug, what's wrong? What happened to you? Why are you reacting like this? Ghost Zug, is it those other syndicates acting up again? Are they trying to make a move on us? Suddenly, the whole room erupted into a panic. Within their organization, Ghost Zug was legendary for always remaining calm, collected, and endlessly resourceful. Even years ago in South America, when a ruthless warlord and his army pinned him into a deadly corner, he never showed a single ripple of emotion. But right now, a raging inferno of fury consumed Chen Wuti's heart. He had only one thought left: I can never let them suffer this kind of terror ever again. I won't let them fall into such a crisis or get hurt ever again. Chen Wuti swore a blood oath in his heart. Daddy, Daddy, where are we going now? His little daughter, Xiao Sao, asked, her tiny body trembling uncontrollably. It was obvious that the kidnapping just now had scared her to death, but she was sensible enough to keep it to herself. Chen Wudi looked tenderly at his daughter, Xiao Sao, and whispered, "Daddy's gonna take you and mommy to a really, really wonderful place. To find a real home. But daddy, people will chase us away if we go anywhere else." Xiao Sao wants to go back under the bridge. Seeing his daughter's timid eyes, Chen Wudi narrowed his own. He said softly, "From now on, nobody will ever be able to chase you away. No matter who they are." This was near a main road in the North District. The family of three just kept walking. Chen Wudi chatted with Xiao Sao from time to time, while encouraging Li Peiju to stay awake. Because if she fell asleep, she might never wake up. Looking at Li Peijia's pale, bloodless face, Chen Wudi frowned. He had to hurry. Turning his head to the heavy traffic, Chen Wudi walked straight into the middle of the road with his daughter. Right in front of them, a group of rich kids were laughing and joking wildly inside a Mercedes G-Class. Just then, the young man in the driver's seat spotted the figures ahead, and his eyes widened in shock. "Crap, there's someone in front of us." But a rich kid next to him scoffed dismissively. "He's literally asking for it by standing in the middle of the road. So what if we run him over? With my uncle's connections, I ain't scared of anything." His face was full of pure arrogance. The other young guys laughed and kept egging him on. "Run him over, Chen Lu. If he wants to die so badly, just send him straight to hell." The young guy in the driver's seat, Chen Lu, flashed an angry look and cursed, "I'm not letting these filthy beggars dirty up my car." He slammed hard on the brakes with a loud screech, leaving 2 tire marks dozens of meters long. They instantly burst into laughter, doubling over with tears in their eyes. "Ha ha ha ha, this is hilarious. Your little family of 3 probably doesn't even have a few $100 between you. You can't even afford to pay for my breakfast. And you actually want to buy young Master Chen's Mercedes? Wow, that's a new one. A whole family of beggars has gone completely insane, trying to pull a scam just to get a Mercedes. Even if you add up your whole family, you still ain't worth a single tire on this luxury car. Do you have any idea how much this limited edition Mercedes costs?" Meanwhile, the driver who had just stopped was completely dumbfounded, staring at Chen Wudi like he was an absolute idiot. This is a limited edition Mercedes G-Class, and this raggedy family of 3, in their beggar clothes, thinks they can buy a Mercedes? What kind of pipe dream is this? The leader of the rich kids, Chen Lu, glared furiously at the 2 filthy figures touching his precious car, and was just about to scream at Chen Wudi, but right at that moment, a black gold bank card shot straight into his mouth, wedging perfectly between his teeth. Not a millimeter off. At the same time, a dead calm voice pierced through his ears. "This is a black gold card from an international bank. It has 1 billion Yenxia dollars in it. The pin is 8 fours. That's enough to buy hundreds of Mercedes." Chen Lu was just about to blow up in anger when he heard Chen Wudi's words. He pulled the black gold card out of his mouth, and his eyes widened in shock. He had seen this type of card before. A very important big shot had one. How the hell could a beggar like this have one? It has to be a fake. Chen Lu sneered, scoffing in total disgust. "You think you can fool me with some cheap fake? Take your trash and get lost, or you're dead." Instantly, a booming shout erupted like a sudden clap of thunder. A terrifying, murderous intent swept out like a Category 12 hurricane, crashing right into the group of rich kids. Ah! In a split second, these sheltered rich kids turned totally pale, their legs turning to jelly. They collapsed straight to the ground. Chen Wudi shot an ice-cold glare at the group before stepping into the driver's seat. With a massive roar of the engine, he sped away in the Mercedes. Inside the Mercedes, little Xiao Sao was looking around happily. She had never been in a place so pretty. She wanted to touch the fancy decorations, but pulled her hand back timidly. Chen Wudi's eyes softened, and he whispered, "It's okay, Xiao Sao. You can touch whatever you want." Daddy is the best." A massive, joyful smile lit up Xiao Sao's little face. Chen Wudi chuckled lightly. "Next up, Daddy is going to take you to live in a big house." As soon as he said that, Chen Wudi drove his Mercedes G-Wagon and suddenly smashed right through the fence of a luxurious villa. He stopped right on the lawn. At that moment, a wealthy-looking young master was out on the lawn playing a round of golf, surrounded by a large group of bodyguards. Seeing this scene, everyone was absolutely stunned. The young master's jaw practically hit the floor. When he finally snapped out of it, his face turned incredibly dark, looking like a thunderstorm was about to break. Let's go see which bastard has the guts to come to my place looking for trouble. Move. In an instant, dozens of huge, tough bodyguards completely surrounded the Mercedes G-Wagon. The young master even grabbed a golf club, glaring viciously through the glass as he roared. "Get out here!" Clack. The car door opened, and Chen Wudi slowly stepped out. Facing the encirclement of so many bodyguards, Chen Wudi didn't show a single ounce of fear. He just looked at the young master in front of him and said flatly, "I want to buy your villa." Ha! The young master had stormed over full of rage, but hearing Chen Wudi say this left him completely dumbfounded. Then he burst out laughing. "Do you have any idea who I am? Do you even know how much this villa is worth?" And the bodyguards beside him chimed in to stroke his ego. "Our boss is the eldest son of the Zhao family, one of the top 10 elite families in Yang City. This luxurious Emerald Manor villa cost at least hundreds of millions to build, plus the land, it's worth a minimum of 1 billion Yanxia dollars. Yeah, exactly, in the entirety of Yang City, this is the absolute top-tier villa estate. Nothing beats it. I will pay 10 times that." Chen Wudi interrupted the bodyguards bragging with a perfectly calm expression. 10 times? As if you could afford that. Hearing Chen Wudi's words, the eldest young master of the Zhao family, Zhao Liangshan, showed a look of heavy disdain and mockery on his face. "This Mercedes G-Wagon of yours does not even rank in my garage. I have at least a dozen sports cars worth way more than your G-Wagon. You want to buy Emerald Manor? Keep dreaming." Chen Wudi just gave Zhao Liangshan a casual glance and flicked his finger. With a swoosh, a black gold bank card shot right into Zhao Liangshan's hand. 10 billion Yanxia dollars. If that is not enough for 10 times the price, come find me. Zhao Liangshan stared at the black gold card, then looked at the worn-out clothes on Chen Wudi's back, and immediately started laughing with disgust. "Are you freaking messing with me, punk?" Immediately, Zhao Liangshan shot a cold, menacing glare at Chen Wudi. His eyes were completely filled with a deep, twisted viciousness. "Do you have any idea what happens when you mess with me? I am going to lock your whole family in a metal cage and make you suffer out of your minds. You are going to pay a massive price." Ah, little Cao doesn't want to go back in the cage. Right at that moment, his daughter little Cao, who was still inside the Mercedes G-Wagon, heard Zhao Liangshan's sinister threats. It seemed to trigger her terrifying past memories, making her curl up into a ball and tremble uncontrollably. And Chen Wudi's previously calm expression instantly erupted into pure rage. Smack! A vicious backhand sent Zhao Liangshan flying through the air. In a flash, he was launched like a human cannonball, violently crashing into several bodyguards. The left side of his face instantly swelled up like a balloon. "You!" Zhao Liangshan glared furiously at Chen Wudi, but before he could even finish his sentence, a bloody, spit-covered tooth fell right out of his mouth. Zhao Liangshan absolutely lost his mind with anger. He screamed at the bodyguards around him, "What are you idiots just standing there for? Take him down right now. Finish him off, I will take the blame." Suddenly, dozens of the Zhao family's elite bodyguards got completely fired up, charging straight at Chen Wudi with furious expressions. Go to hell, these bodyguards were all massively built. They were trained in intense physical combat, and every single one of them was an elite who could take on 10 men at once. Their collective charge carried a terrifying, overwhelming presence. Yet, watching this unfold, Chen Wudi did not even blink an eye. A smirk of complete disdain formed on his lips. "You really chose to do this the hard way." As soon as the words left his mouth, Chen Wudi lunged forward. In an instant, it was like a tiger unleashed among a flock of sheep. Completely unstoppable. 1, 2, 3. Zhao Liangshan's so-called elite bodyguards crumpled like absolute wet paper. Chen Wudi smashed them to the ground, one by one. In just 10 seconds, dozens of the Zhao family's bodyguards. Not a single one of them could even stand up. Seeing this, Zhao Liangshan was absolutely petrified. You, stay the hell back. I'm the eldest son of Yang City's prestigious Zhao family, the future head of the house. You wouldn't dare touch me." Watching Chen Wudi stepping closer and closer, Zhao Liangshan bluffed with an empty threat. Chen Wudi just let out a scoffing laugh, raising his foot to stomp him into the ground. The Zhao family? Weren't they that big-shot family from Yang City who teamed up with Lin Cheng against him and ended up running away like cowards? Chen Wudi hadn't even gone to settle the score with them yet. Ring, ring. Right as Zhao Liangshan fell into total despair, a cell phone ringing suddenly broke the silence. Zhao Liangshan froze, then frantically yanked out his phone. Seeing a familiar number, His face lit up with wild joy and he quickly answered. Dad, someone broke into the Emerald Manor and attacked me. You have to come save me. What? Just wait there, I'm right near the North District. I'm bringing my men over right now. After hanging up the phone, all the fear and despair vanished from Zhao Liangshan's face. He glared at Chen Wudi with absolute arrogance. My dad, Zhao Tianji, is on his way. He's not going to let you get away with this. You're dead meat. Zhao Liangshan's face twisted in hysterical madness. He had never been beaten in his entire life. Not even his own father had laid a hand on him. And now, someone had broken into his house and assaulted him. How the hell was Zhao Liangshan supposed to just swallow this insult? Zhao Tianji, the head of the Zhao family, if Chen Wudi remembered correctly. This was the very guy who ran for his life when he wiped out the Lin family. Chen Wudi stared coldly at Zhao Liangshan, his icy voice drifting into his ears. Even if Zhao Tianji gets here, he'll be kneeling before me. What? When my dad gets here, he's gonna make you kneel. Who the hell do you think you are? Zhao Liangshan screamed in furious desperation. Chen Wudi replied calmly, you clearly don't grasp the situation here. When I am this close, I am a one-man army. You are literally beneath my boot. If I crush you to death right now and just walk away, your daddy wouldn't even know who did it. You. Hearing this, Zhao Liangshan instantly started shaking with terror, violently stuttering. But, I actually really like this Emerald Manor. Plenty of sunlight, a nice lawn and a garden. It's perfect for Xiao Cao to play in and for a patient to recover. So, I'll wait a little while. Though my patience is limited, Chen Wudi couldn't even be bothered to spare Zhao Liangshan another glance. His gaze softened as he looked over at Xiao Cao and Li Peiju inside the Mercedes. Meanwhile, time ticked by, second by agonizing second, fueling Zhao Liangshan's terror. Less than 10 minutes later, rumble. The ground beneath the Emerald Manor suddenly began to shake. It sounded like a stampede of 10,000 horses. A voice exploding with monstrous, sky-shattering rage echoed out. Who dares lay a hand on my son? I'll rip him to bloody pieces. An intimidating middle-aged man stormed into the estate. His eyes were as dark and suffocating as the storm clouds before a hurricane. They brewed with terrifying fury, and right behind him marched dozens of white-clad commanders, exuding a deadly aura. Behind them were 100 white-clad guards, radiating sheer, cold-blooded killing intent. This was none other than Zhao Tianji, head of Yang City's prestigious Zhao family. Having just been sent running for his life at the Lin family estate, Zhao Tianji felt deeply humiliated. Now, hearing that someone had the nerve to beat his own son, his face was absolutely livid. The moment Zhao Liangshan saw his dad arrive, he leapt up in wild excitement and frantically ran over to him. Dad, that's him, that's the guy. Zhao Tianji glared over with absolute murderous rage, but just one look, and his entire body started violently trembling. His face drained of all color, like he had just stared death itself in the face. His eyes flooded with an abyss of pure terror. Dad, look at my face, look how swollen my left cheek is. He knocked my teeth out. Dad, you have to lock him up. I'm gonna torture him until he begs. I'm gonna kill him. Zhao Liangshan cheered sadistically, his face twisting into a twisted, malicious grin. It was like he was already picturing all the ways he'd make Chen Wudi suffer. But before Zhao Liangshan could even finish his sentence, Zhao Tianji delivered a vicious slap, striking him hard across the right side of his face. Smack! That single slap rang out loudly. He quickly led his men out. Chen Wudi just shot them a glance, not even bothering to say a word. Turning around, he opened the door of the Mercedes G-Wagon, gently gathered Li Peiju into his arms, and led Xiao Cao into the villa. Xiao Cao, from now on, this is our home. Staring at the magnificent villa and the massive crystal chandelier, and the luxurious Persian rugs, his daughter, Xiao Cao, hopped around with a joy she had never felt before. She even started rolling around on the rug. Daddy, is this really our new home? Is nobody going to kick us out? Do we really never have to sleep under the bridge again? After cheering for a moment, Xiao Cao looked up at Chen Wudi, her eyes suddenly turning timid. Chen Wudi's eyes grew red, tears threatening to spill. He choked back a sob and said, "No more bridges, sweetie. No one will ever kick you out again." The memory of what they had endured tore his heart to pieces. But Xiao Cao just jumped for joy, completely trusting her daddy's words. Then, she ran over to Li Peiju, took her hand, and beamed. Mommy, do you see? Daddy brought us to live in a huge house. Mommy. However, Li Peiju had long since passed out. Daddy, what's wrong with Mommy? Her hands are so cold. With her tiny hands, Xiao Xiao lifted Li Peijia's limp hand, hugging it tight against her own little chest. Trying desperately to warm her mother up, then, she looked up at Chen Wuti with fearful, trembling eyes. That timid, fearful look in his daughter's eyes pierced Chen Wuti's soul, especially seeing how incredibly sweet and well-behaved she was. Tucking her mother's freezing hand into her coat, just trying to share her own warmth. Such an innocent child, yet she had been forced to live under a collapsed bridge. They had even locked her in an iron cage. But never again. Chen Wuti narrowed his eyes, making a silent, deadly vow. He crouched down, gently stroking Xiao Xiao's little head, and murmured softly. Mommy's just really tired, she's asleep right now. Once she wakes up, everything is going to be alright. I believe you, Daddy. Xiao Xiao nodded obediently, a bright smile returning to her face. Chen Wuti then scooped Li Peiju back into his arms, found a clean bedroom, and gently laid her on the bed. He painstakingly tore away her ragged clothes, moving with extreme caution to avoid pulling at her wounds. Hiss, but the moment he fully saw her body, Chen Wuti sucked in a sharp breath of cold air. Her fragile body was absolutely covered in gruesome scars. New gashes overlapped with old, deep scars in a sickening web. It was a tragically horrific sight. God only knows how much pure torture she had been put through. Chen Wuti's eyes darkened. Rolling with thunder like the pitch-black clouds right before a massive storm, radiating a devastating urge to destroy everything in his path. The Zhang family of Mo Du. He spat the words out through gritted teeth, pausing after every single syllable. A murderous, absolute intent to kill flashed in his eyes. He then forced himself to look back at Li Peijia's beautiful, deathly pale face. His expression grew heavy. Her injuries were just too severe. She had lost so much blood, and her life force was completely drained, like a dying lamp out of oil. If I hadn't learned those medical skills from the demon doctor, Mo Tiansheng, back in Kunlong prison, I would be completely powerless right now. But right now, there's still a chance, even if it's just a sliver of hope. With a solemn expression, Chen Wuti quickly crushed a bundle of medicinal herbs into a thick paste, gently applying it all over her battered body. Then, he planted his foot firmly on the ground. In an instant, faint wisps of white steam began radiating from his body. He hovered his large hands steadily over her deep gashes. With every pass over a wound, his own face grew visibly paler. It was draining an immense, unimaginable amount of his energy. 1 minute passed. 2 minutes, 3 minutes. A full 30 minutes went by before Chen Wuti finally let out a long, trembling breath. Beads of sweat were pouring down his forehead, but a relieved, ecstatic smile spread across his face. I did it, I brought her back. As he looked down, the gruesome wounds that covered her body were actually sealing up and healing right before his eyes, and a faint, healthy flush of color had finally returned to her cheeks. How is this even possible? Just, who the hell is this guy? Right at that moment, Chen Wuti spoke slowly, brothers, I'm back. I, the Hell Black Dragon, have returned. Instantly, a terrifying aura erupted into the sky. Boom. Thunder rolled across the sky, as if the heavens themselves were celebrating this moment. Welcome back, boss. At the exact same time, the men in black roared out in unison, their intense auras exploding outward. That overwhelming pressure swept across the area, like a massive, Category 12 hurricane. The head of the Zhao family, Zhao Tianji, collapsed to the ground in sheer terror on the spot. Because the aura radiating from every single one of those men in black was far stronger than the entire foundation of his Zhao family. Shockingly, every single one of them was a top-tier grandmaster. It was absolutely unbelievable. Brothers, stand up. As Chen Wuti's words fell, the group of men in black instantly stood tall. They looked at him with absolute thrill in their eyes. Chen Wuti narrowed his gaze and said calmly, brothers, head to the abandoned thermal power plant in the North District of Yang City, and retrieve the 18 severed heads. 3 days from now is the grand birthday banquet of Zhang Hengbao, the head of the Zhang family in the Magic City. Make sure this special birthday gift is delivered right on time. In his calm eyes, a monstrous storm seemed to be brewing. Yes, boss. 3 days passed in a flash. The Magic City's top-tier aristocratic family, the Zhang family, was heavily decorated with bright red lanterns hanging high. It was the 50th birthday of the Zhang family's patriarch, Zhang Hengbao. Countless big shots arrived to offer their congratulations and present lavish gifts. Mr. Wang Zhensheng, chairman of the Hengda Group, congratulates Mr. Zhang Hengbao on his 50th birthday. Presenting one luxury resort villa by the East Sea. God of War Qi Yanxiao congratulates Mr. Zhang Hengbao on his 50th birthday. Presenting 3 heavenly mountain snow lotuses. Sitting high at the head of the hall, Zhang Hengbao was beaming with joy. He spoke with warm enthusiasm. "My friends, you are all far too generous to bring such lavish gifts. Come on in, please, have a seat." Meanwhile, hearing the incredible gift list called out by the announcer, the rest of the guests burst into amazed whispers. "Oh my god, that luxury resort villa by the East Sea from Mr. Wang Zhenshang is worth at least 1 billion Yanxia dollars. The last time a tycoon begged to buy it, Mr. Wang absolutely refused to sell. I can't believe he actually gave it to Patriarch Zhang for his birthday. And wow, 3 heavenly mountain snow lotuses? Those can extend your life and deeply restore vitality. God of War Qi really went all out with that one. Truly worthy of the Magic City's Zhang family. They really are absolute giants. In all of Yanxia, there aren't many families with this level of prestige. Haha, the best part is yet to come. The 3 young masters of the Zhang family haven't even presented their gifts yet." Amidst the excited chatter of the crowd, the 3rd young master of the Zhang family, Zhang Tianyuan, walked over slowly with a huge smile on his face. Thud, Zhang Tianyuan dropped straight to his knees and proudly announced, "Wishing you a happy 50th birthday, father. Your humble son presents to you an original Tang Bohu painting, Pine and Crane Prolonging Life." As his voice faded, a traditional painting scroll was carefully unrolled. The pine represents the tree of youth, evergreen and immortal, while the crane is the bird of the immortals, symbolizing a lifespan of 1,000 years. "I wish you, father, a long, prosperous and healthy life, just like the pine and the crane." "Excellent." Zhang Hengbao nodded in deep satisfaction, while the surrounding guests erupted into a chorus of endless praise. Tang Bohu's Pine and Crane Prolonging Life is an absolute masterpiece, an incredibly rare treasure. To see the authentic work with my own eyes, I could die with 0 regrets. I heard that young master Zhang Tianyuan spent a staggering 2 billion Yanxia dollars to win this at an auction recently. Good heavens, 2 billion Yanxia dollars? Young master Zhang Tianyuan's birthday gift is undoubtedly the best one here today. Watching this entire scene unfold, the 2nd young master of the Zhang family, Zhang Tianfang, kept a perfectly calm expression as he scoffed in his mind. "The gift I'm bringing today is the only one that will truly make father happy." He then turned to the subordinate beside him, his brows furrowing slightly as he asked, "Is there any news from Zhang Long's group yet?" The subordinate bowed his head and replied respectfully, "Not yet, young master, but since you personally ordered them to deliver the birthday gift to the patriarch today, I am certain they will make it back in time." "Good." Zhang Tianfang nodded in satisfaction. He then let out a cold, sinister chuckle. "No one I, Zhang Tianfang, want dead has ever managed to escape." He noticed the challenging, provocative glare his 3rd brother shot at him, but dismissed it with utter contempt. Despite being only the 2nd son, he had been crowned as the official heir to the Zhang family. And that was entirely because Zhang Tianfang understood Zhang Hengbao's ambitions better than anyone. His father's ultimate dream was to elevate the Zhang family and make them the absolute top aristocratic family in all of Yanxia. To achieve this, he arranged for his 3 sons to marry into other powerful families. Zhang Tianfang himself was engaged to none other than Yanxia's female god of war, Li Peiju. But a certain scandal had caused the Zhang family to completely lose face. Shockingly, Li Peiju had gotten pregnant out of wedlock, although no one dared to run their mouths to their faces, behind their backs. Who knows how much people have been mocking the Zhang family behind our backs? Zhang Hengbao has flown into a rage over this matter more times than anyone can count. This time, offering up the severed heads of Li Peijia's family of 3 will absolutely shock everyone to their core. It'll make them terrified to ever whisper about us again, and completely restore the Zhang family's prestige. Father will definitely be thrilled. My position as the head of the family is secured, and no one can take it from me. Zhang Tianfang thought to himself, brimming with absolute confidence. Meanwhile, the eldest son, Zhang Tianyan, unable to stand Zhang Tianyuan's provocation any longer, carefully held a tray with both hands. It was covered with a red silk cloth as he slowly walked over. With a beaming smile on his face, Zhang Tianyan knelt respectfully before Zhang Hengbao and spoke out. "Happy 50th birthday, father. I specifically brought back a string of red sandalwood prayer beads from Thailand, blessed by the great monk Luang Fur Khan himself. Please accept this as my birthday gift to you. I really hope you like it." As soon as he finished speaking, Zhang Tianyan lifted the red silk cloth. Instantly, a gorgeous string of red sandalwood prayer beads was revealed to the crowd. These beads seemed to radiate a deeply peaceful and calming energy. Just looking at them made everyone feel entirely at peace and completely relaxed. For a moment, the entire room fell dead silent. Even Zhang Hengbao, who had been sitting high up in the seat of honor, looked deeply moved as he stood up and slowly walked down. He played with the red sandalwood beads in his hands, absolutely loving them, and said to Zhang Tianyin with a proud smile, "You've really put a lot of thought into this." Immediately, the rest of the guests erupted into an uproar. The great Thai monk, Luang Furkan? Oh my god, that's a true holy man, someone even the king of Thailand has to kneel down to welcome. They say that prayer beads blessed by him can bring you endless wealth, a long life, and perfect health. Last year, that wealthy businessman from Southeast Asia, Mr. Ma Xian, donated the equivalent of 3 billion Yenxia dollars to the great monk. And even he couldn't get a string of blessed beads back. Young Master Zhang Tianyin really went to incredible lengths to bring these here. Young Master Zhang Tianyun's gift is undoubtedly the best one here. Hearing this, the other guests nodded in absolute agreement. Then, everyone's gaze shifted over to Zhang Tianfang. Out of the 3 young masters of the Zhang family, he was the only one who hadn't presented a birthday gift yet. Zhang Tianfang's eyes were brimming with intense smugness as he swept his gaze over the crowd. Then, turning to the head of the family, Zhang Hengbao, he announced, "I am about to present a truly earth-shattering birthday gift, Father. You are absolutely going to love it. My men will bring it in any minute now." Hearing that, everyone in the room was stunned. What kind of gift could it be? Could it be even more precious than red sandalwood beads blessed by Thailand's #1 monk, Luang Furkan? Zhang Hengbao's curiosity was piqued as well, and he began to stroke his beard. He laughed and said, "Good, I'm very much looking forward to Tianfang's gift." Right at that moment, one of Zhang Tianfang's men walked over and whispered in his ear, "Young master, there are 3 large boxes at the main gate. Father, the birthday gift I prepared has finally arrived." Zhang Tianfang swept his smug gaze past his oldest and youngest brothers, declaring loudly to Zhang Hengbao. At the same time, 3 massive boxes were carried out right in front of the crowd. Zhang Tianfang rested his hands on the boxes and took a deep breath. 3 years ago, I was supposed to marry Li Peiju, but that absolute bitch actually got pregnant out of wedlock. She brought endless humiliation to our Zhang family and dragged our name through the mud. As soon as Zhang Tianfang brought this up, Zhang Hengbao's face instantly went completely dark. Everyone else in the Zhang family looked absolutely furious as well. As a top-tier family in this city, when have we ever suffered such a disgrace? But today, that whole mess is finally being put to an end. No one gets away with humiliating our family. Anyone who dares to trample on the Zhang family will die. Zhang Tianfang's voice boomed like thunder, his sharp gaze sweeping across the room. Everyone's expression shifted in shock, while Zhang Hengbao's eyes lit up with intense excitement. Zhang Tianfang stood tall and declared at the top of his lungs, "That's right, inside these are the severed heads of that bitch and her family of 3. They are the birthday gift I present to you, Father. The Zhang family will never be insulted." Zhang Tianfang violently threw the boxes open. In that split second, everyone's faces filled with intense anticipation. All eyes were glued to the insides of those 3 boxes. Zhang Hengbao, especially, was vibrating with absolute thrill and euphoria. Because those people had brought such humiliating disgrace to his family, he stared intensely right into those 3 boxes. The very next second, after the 3 boxes were thrown wide open, the smug smile on Zhang Tianfang's face instantly froze completely. Because these weren't the heads of Chen Wudi, Li Peiju, and Xiao Cao at all. They were the severed heads of the Zhang family's very own 18 blackguards. Silence, a dead, heavy silence. In an instant, the massive Zhang family villa was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. All the guests just stood there, staring at each other in utter shock. His eyes were wide with absolute horror and utter confusion. What the hell is going on here? The birthday gift presented by the Zhang family heir, Zhang Tianfang, was actually the severed heads of the Zhang family's 18 elite shadow guards. "You bastard, is this the damn gift you brought me?" Zhang Hengbao erupted in a furious rage, his face turning livid. He slammed his right hand viciously onto the table, his whole body trembling with sheer anger. The entire room of guests shrank back in absolute terror. The 3rd brother, Zhang Tianyuan, sneered at Zhang Tianfang. "Well, 2nd brother, is this really how you wish our esteemed father a happy birthday?" Zhang Tianyin chimed in with a cold laugh. Second brother, it looks like you tried to catch an eagle, but got your own damn eyes pecked out instead. So useless, I should have been the one to handle this from the start. Zhang Tianfang's face looked uglier than ever before, completely ignoring his two brothers' taunts. With a heavy thud, he dropped to his knees right in front of Zhang Hengbao, his voice grim. Father. This had to be the work of that bitch Li Peijia's lover, Chen Wudi. He already wiped out the Lin family in Yang City. Zhang Tianfang was absolutely fuming, ready to explode. He had genuinely thought that, by taking advantage of Zhang Hengbao's 50th birthday, he could present this massive gift to win his father's favor, and finally secure his own spot as the heir to the Zhang family. But he never in a million years expected that the Zhang family's 18 shadow guards, an elite squad powerful enough to kill a god of war when fighting together, would end up getting their own damn heads chopped off instead. Now, not only had he completely failed to please his father, he was being ruthlessly humiliated for it. Zhang Tianfang clenched his fists so tightly that bright red blood began to drip down right between his fingers. He was consumed by an absolute, burning hatred. Chen Wudi, Zhang Hengbao's eyes practically burned with a monstrous, roaring fury. Kill them, we must kill Chen Wudi and Li Peiju. I swear, I will make them pay in blood. No one dares to provoke the pride of the mighty Zhang family of Shanghai. Boom. As soon as Zhang Hengbao's furious words echoed out, the massive Zhang estate completely erupted into chaos. Death to Chen Wudi, the roaring chants shook the very heavens, radiating a bone-chilling murderous intent. The temperature in the room felt like it had instantly dropped below freezing. Seeing this terrifying display, every single guest felt their scalps tingle with dread. Their bodies trembling violently, drenched in a cold sweat. The Zhang family of Shanghai was an absolute powerhouse. Just a single stomp of their foot could unleash a massive bloodbath. Stop. At Zhang Hengbao's sudden command, the Zhang family thugs immediately froze, their hands stopping mid-slap. But before Li Renxin and Ma Fangfang could even breathe a sigh of relief, Zhang Hengbao's icy voice pierced right through their ears. If you don't drag them back here, your entire Li family will be wiped off the face of the earth. His tone was as vicious and cutting as an Arctic blizzard. The members of the Li family shuddered violently, all the color draining from their faces. Especially Li Peijia's parents, Li Renxin and Ma Fangfang, who were practically paralyzed with terror. Grab them, hand them over to the Zhang family to beg for mercy. The moment those words were spoken, the Li family enforcers lunged forward with brutal force, charging straight at Chen Wudi and his small family of 3. Mr. Chen, look out. Seeing this horrific ambush unfold, the Zhao family patriarch, Zhao Tianji, turned pale with shock and screamed a desperate warning at Chen Wudi. But the Li family's fighters were moving insanely fast, closing in on Chen Wudi like streaks of deadly lightning. Get lost. In that split second, Chen Wudi let out a booming roar. It was like a massive thunderclap exploding right out of thin air. An overwhelmingly terrifying aura swept through the room, hitting them like a brutal, Category 12 hurricane. In a flash, every single member of the Li family was brutally crushed to the ground by the sheer, violent pressure of his presence. As for the fighters who had lunged at him, they choked violently, spewing mouthfuls of blood as they were thrown backward. The sheer devastation of a single shout. Zhao Tianji hadn't even finished screaming his warning. And these vicious, bloodthirsty fighters had already been completely obliterated on the spot. Zhao Tianji was absolutely dumbfounded. Every single time he saw Chen Wudi, he was left terrified by his godlike power and profound mystery. As he stared at the man, his eyes were filled with deep reverence, and even a flicker of absolute worship. Thump, thump, thump. Heavy, deliberate footsteps echoed out. Chen Wudi, his face dark with murderous rage, strode right up to the cowering Li family. He turned his head and cast a heartbroken glance at Li Peiju, who was still lying entirely unconscious on the chair, and at his sweet, innocent little daughter, Xiao Sao. In that moment, Chen Wudi finally snapped. You call yourself her father? Do you have any damn idea how she's lived these past 3 years? Crushed by the Zhang family, living a miserable life worse than a stray dog? Sleeping under freezing bridges, digging through trash just to eat raw, cold potatoes. When she was deathly ill, not a single damn hospital even dared to take her in. The little brat you speak of was thrown into a dog cage by the Lin family, all under the Zhang family's orders. 2 years old, Xiao Sao is only 2 years old. You didn't care at all whether your own daughter and granddaughter lived or died. So cold-blooded, you don't even deserve to be called parents. His furious accusations echoed through the air. The fierce and aggressive aura of the Li family instantly deflated. Deep shame and guilt washed over every single face. Even while being suppressed by the Zhang family of the Magic City, they were still nobles. They lived in luxury and stayed in 5-star hotels. Meanwhile, Li Peiju and her daughter, Xiao Xiao, were forced to live a life far worse than street beggars. Li Peijia's mother, Ma Fangfang, completely broke down in tears. "Oh, my daughter, my poor, suffering daughter." A flicker of remorse even crossed the faces of Peijia's father, Li Renxin, and old Master Li. Chen Wudi stared at the guilt written all over the Li family's faces. Though his eyes remained icy, the hostility in them softened just a fraction. As for the Zhang family, he said coldly, "You don't need to worry about them. Once Peiju wakes up, I will bring her right to their doorstep, and make the Zhang family pay a bloody price." His killing intent swept through the room like a bone-chilling winter wind, dropping the temperature straight to freezing. The Li family was left completely stunned, marching right up to the Zhang family to demand justice. How could that ever happen? Li Renxin slumped in defeat and sighed heavily. The Zhang family is too powerful. They are just way too powerful. You don't stand a chance against them. Beside him, Li Renxin's older brother, Li Rend, burst into laughter. He glared at Chen Wudi with sheer disgust and sneered. "I know you wiped out the Lin family of Yang City, but so what? The Lin family is nothing. With just one finger, our Li family of the Magic City could easily crush that pathetic Lin family." But as he spoke, Li Ren's eyes filled with endless, gripping terror and despair, his face turning deathly pale. His entire body began to tremble. But with just one finger, the Zhang family of the Magic City could absolutely crush our Li family. Do you have any idea how massive the gap between us is? Li Tianyi, the eldest grandson of the Li family, stared at Chen Wudi like he was an absolute idiot, mocking him mercilessly. "Who the hell do you think you are, marching into the Zhang family of the Magic City demanding justice? Your arrogance is an absolute joke." In that moment, not a single person in the Li family believed Chen Wudi could ever get justice from the Zhang family. Some stayed completely silent, letting out heavy sighs, while most just glared at Chen Wudi, mocking him recklessly. Later, someone angrily vented to Zhang Hengbao. Those two little punks were beyond arrogant, wild, and incredibly rude. Once they found out our Li family wanted them to head to the Magic City, they didn't care at all. They even straight up called us the Zhang family's lapdogs and told us to get the hell out. Our Li family originally planned to capture them by force, but that bastard was just way too strong. Even the 18 black guards of the Zhang family were no match for him. Let alone our Li family. In just a few dozen seconds, our Li family was completely and brutally crushed. Old Master Li pointed shakingly at the painful wounds covering the family members. He continued, "That little beast showed absolutely no mercy. Every strike snapped muscles and broke bones. Even an old man like me, over 80 years old, couldn't escape his vicious hands. He even had the guts to demand that the Zhang family of the Magic City crawl over to Yang City to accept their death." He relentlessly fanned the flames. Those two wretched scum have absolutely zero respect for the Zhang family. Yeah, exactly. He even swore he'd make everyone in the Zhang family kneel down right in front of that tramp, Li Peiju.